Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm the Angel PT, and for today what I have in here, it is an indie game called Dead Cells, and apparently it's one of the most awaited indie games from this month. It's developed by the Motion Twin and they are using the X engine. The Motion Twin already developed games before, like Brute well, I don't know, but they developed a lot of games like Die Tonight and Mush. All of them kind of indie games to side-scrolling games like this one. That's why they use the X engine, which is an engine specialized for this type of games. And the good thing is that they offered me the key for this game, and this is a very unusual benchmark because I only usually cover benchmarks that really stress out the PC, but since I started to do videos about my Intel integrated graphic cards, I think that probably it was a good idea to accept the key for this game and to start to perform benchmarks. And like usually, when I test one PC, I always test the other PCs, so here we have our desktop PC running Dead Cells at 1440p, and this is the only graphical settings that you can personalize. You have full screen windowed, which is borderless, windowed, VSync, which will lock your frame rates to your hertz of your screen. I do recommend this, but I'm not going to use it in order for you to have a better idea what's the maximum performance you can expect from this PC. And then you have this option, which is the diet, where you can choose the appearance of the food that you can find in game. And I found very interesting to have in here the baguettes, and I'm pretty sure that French people will like the baguette. And after investigating a little bit more further, I discovered that Dead Cells and the developers behind this game, which is you know, the Motion Twin, are actually French. So I tested this game at 1440p, and since there is no other graphical option you can choose to personalize the performance of this game, this is the results that I did found on the first level of the game. So I got an average of 268 frames per second and a 1% of 220. So playing this game at 4K, it's more than possible, guys. Okay, so it's no issue at all. Okay, so yeah, this video will be more and less just to show you about the game, well, than just to show you about the performance. So okay, let's talk about the game. Dead Cells, it is pretty much a side-scrolling game which generates the levels on its own way. So it means that, for example, we are currently on the first level. The first level will always have the same assets, okay, it's not going to change. But the way that the map is drawn, it is entirely different every time you start the game. The placement of the enemies will be entirely different, and the scenario will be different. Only the same assets will be used. Okay, so you can, if you look to the lower right side of the screen, you can see the level generated. So it's a little bit like Binding of Isaac. If you play Binding of Isaac, you probably will resemble a lot of stuff from this game, including the power-ups. You have some sword and some arrow, which you can evolve and get your own buffers to that. You have a lot of throwable items that you can use, and you can evolve a lot of stuff into your character too. So it seems a very, very interesting game, okay, and I think you should really try it, to be honest. It's not just because they offered me the key, it's because if you kind of like this type of games, if you like indie games, this seems like a really good game. And I've played indie games before like this that was bad optimized, but at least this one is good. But seriously, if you liked Binding of Isaac, I'm pretty sure you are going to love this game. It's pretty much the same thing, but in a side-scrolling environment and with much more action. Okay, you have to be very quick sometimes to defeat certain opponents, especially the bosses of this game. They are very quick and complicated for me. But probably if you are adapted to these type of games, it should be easy for you. But for me, even on the first levels, I already had some trouble to try to defeat the bosses. So, interesting stuff in my opinion. There was more stuff that I wanted to talk about this game. I'm trying to resemble, let's say... okay, you can also associate this game to something like Castlevania, for example. But let me add just some more information about the game. The game, when it was released on early access, was already having 11 levels, 2 bosses, 50 weapons or more and skills, 2 special powers, unlocking new areas, paths. So you have a lot of stuff into this game. It's very responsive in my opinion. The fighting system is really fun to have. If you like quick fighting skills, you can have a lot of fun. That is leaderboards for currently how fast you can beat the game, so it's amazing. This game also have some streaming stuff completely connected to the game, which should make a little bit more friendly for you to stream for the typical, you know, typical platforms like Twitch and probably YouTube. To be honest, I didn't test that because my internet connection sucks entirely. And well, of course, eventually you are going to get a few rage quits because again, the game is not easy. Some people even call this game a little bit of Dark Souls lit, so that's more or less what you can expect about this game. So about that, I'm going to shut up entirely and I'm going to let you enjoy a little bit of the gameplay, the excellent soundtrack. And in case you are interested about this game, there is a link on the description for Steam. The game is a little bit expensive, to be honest. It costs 25 bucks. I think after the release of Yakuza for 20 bucks, I think it's a little bit expensive. But if you are a sucker for these type of games, I'm pretty sure the price is right. And of course, if you can't pay right now, you can always... I'm pretty sure you will be finding this game later on a number bundle or at a discount. And at least you will know a little bit about the game, okay? So guys, that's all that I want to talk about Dead Cells. Hope you did enjoy the video. Thank you a lot for the developers for sending me out the key of this game. It's actually very good. And I do hope to see you all very soon in another video. So thank you a lot for watching, and I do hope to see you soon. Keep enjoying the rest of the video because there is a lot more to be shown in here, okay? So goodbye guys, thank you.